I'm your host, Billy Breed, and I'm here to share with you a little bit of knowledge about who I like this weekend for FanDuel and for DraftKings. And you're here to take a few notes, to learn a thing or two. Unless, of course, you're a citizen of the state of New York, and in that case, we are just burning rubber here, folks. I'm kidding with you. We're going to get Schneiderman, and we're going to do it together. So go f*** yourself, Schneiderman. Anyways, let's open as we always do, with quarterbacks.
I'm dead sexy.
My first value pick has got a name that makes you feel like an Italian mob boss. Hey, Joey, hey, what are you doing over there, Joey? How about you get your dad an orange or something, huh? How you doing? Hey, Gavish? It's Joe Flacco. Now, I know he's not a sexy pick, but in the last 3 games, he averaged 304.7 yards through the air for 4 total passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. And this week, he plays Jacksonville, who in 5 games this season have allowed 2 passing touchdowns. He also has only owned 1.3%. Those numbers add up for you to have a good week if you play him. My next value pick is Blake Bortles Service. In his last 4 games, Bortles Service has thrown for 299.3 yards a game for 2.8 touchdowns. And this week, he plays Baltimore, who are the 31st ranked defense against the pass. I know he's owning 9% of his leagues, but he's Mr. Bortles Service. So get a pretty girl and come sit at our table.
I am very, very sneaky, sir.
My hidden gem this week makes me think of this song and this song only. Bri, 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 Brian Hoyer. Since week 4, Hoyer averages 269 yards through the air for 2.4 touchdowns. I know he plays the undefeated Cincinnati Bengals this week, but for his pass-first offenses, they allow 268.7 yards a game for 2 total touchdowns. He's also owning 0.9% of the leagues. Low ownership, high volume, you do the math.
Wild card, bitches!
My dart throw this week is Kirk Cousins. I don't know enough about this guy. Some weeks he plays amazing, other weeks he plays like shit. This week I'm hoping it's amazing. In his last 2 games, he's thrown for 267 yards and 4 total passing touchdowns with a rushing touchdown. This week he plays New Orleans, who are terrible. In the last 3 games, giving up 351.3 yards and 4.3 touchdowns. His ownership, 7%. Why? Because he's playing New Orleans, who literally are the worst defense in the entire league.
I'm dead sexy.
My first value pick, dude, is LeGarrette Blount, man. On the season, Blount is getting over 18 attempts a game for 89.2 yards with 5 total touchdowns. And this week he plays the New York Giants, who rank 22nd against running backs. With Deion Lewis on IR, Blount is going to be the lead back. That's some of that dang bomb-ass, purple-ass, grown in the kitchen, bomb-ass, scomp-ass, Gucci. My next value pick is sweet baby James Starks, who finally got promoted to the #1 running back. 4 games Starks played ahead of Lacey. He averages 18 total looks, 3 receptions for 99 yards, and 3 total touchdowns. This week he plays Detroit, who on average give up over 110 yards a game with 11 total touchdowns. Now I know his ownership is high at 14.7%, but that's because everybody likes him this week. Good night, my moonlight lady. And run, baby James. And score me a touchdown with a couple receptions. And I win my DFS game. My next value pick is the Dallas Cowboys. So as always, gun, face. In the last 3 games, McFadden is averaging 25.3 attempts a game for 111 rushing yards and 1 total touchdown, while playing 79.5% of the snaps. And this week he plays Tampa Bay, who are the 4th worst defense against the run. Oh, I joke about the Dallas Cowboys, but seeing them implode is my favorite part of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year. My next value pick, I feel like, is the most fun name to announce over a loudspeaker. Mark Ingram! In his last 3 games, Ingram is getting the opportunities, as he averages over 21.3 looks a game and over 121 yards a game. This week he plays San Diego, who on average are giving running backs 171.5 yards a game with 3 total touchdowns, 6.5 receptions, 58 yards, and a total touchdown through the air. Now he's owning 11.5% of the leagues, which is not too high and not too low. The Redskins started off the season as doing well against the run, but now they're awful.
I am very, very sneaky, sir.
My hidden gem this week sounds like he should be a 1920s detective. One long look at her and I knew she was as guilty as a kid that left his hand in a cookie jar. The name's West. Chandrick West. In his last 2 games, Chandrick West is getting over 20 attempts a game while averaging over 100 yards a game with 2 total touchdowns. Now, you can't be scared because he plays Denver. They rank 16th against running backs, and he has the lowest ownership rate you could want at 1.4%. She took one long drag of her cigarette and I was sold faster than an auctioneer on cocaine.
Wild card, bitches!
My dart throw this week is Ryan Matthews, who, like his brother, also dated Topanga Lawrence. In his last 2 games, Ryan Matthews is averaging 10.5 looks a game for 94 total yards and 2 touchdowns. And this week he plays Miami, who are the 29th ranked defense when defending running backs, giving up over 140 yards a game and 7 total touchdowns. His ownership rate, 1.2%. Now, from what I've heard, Ryan Matthews might be splitting carries with DeMarco Murray this Sunday. That's good news. Quarterbacks are finished, running backs are done. It's time for the wide receiver.
I'm dead sexy.
My first value pick is like a pre-released IPO and he's about to go public. You guessed it, Stefon Diggs. In his last 5 games, Stefon Diggs is averaging 9 targets a game for over 92 yards and 2 total touchdowns. And this week he plays the Oakland Raiders, whose 2 outside cornerbacks grade as the 36th worst cornerback in the league and the 28th worst cornerback in the league. That's going to be a big game. Come on, baby. This is like when Steve Madden went public in the 90s. We're all gonna get rich now. My second value pick is Kamar Clay Aiken. With Steve Smith down, Aiken is now the #1 receiver on Baltimore. And with Steve Smith out, he averages over 7 targets a game, over 72 yards a game, and 1 touchdown. And this week he plays Jacksonville, and especially Dwayne Greaves, who ranks as the 23rd worst cornerback in the league. Like a bridge over troubled water, Kamar will give his best. My next value pick is Michael Crabtree, who's making a bigger comeback this year than Joe Pesci did with his Home Alone series. In his last 3 games, Crabtree is averaging over 10 targets a game for 91 yards and 4 total touchdowns. And this week he plays Minnesota, whose 2 cornerbacks grade as the 5th worst cornerback and the 30th worst cornerback in the league. Now, I know he's owned 20.2%, which is high, but he's definitely worth the price. If you miss on Crabtree this weekend, you might be making this face. Usually, second-year wide receivers have a sophomore slump, but Allen Robinson is dope. In his last 7 games, Allen Robinson is averaging over 10 targets a game, over 97 yards a game, with 6 total touchdowns. And last week against Darrelle Revis, had 11 targets, 6 receptions, and 121 yards. This week he plays Baltimore, who has 2 cornerbacks that can't hold a candle to Darrelle Revis. I know he's owning 25.6% of the leagues, but it doesn't matter. He is a must-play this week. I'm telling you guys, he is a must-start this week against the Ravens. For my last value pick, I like Brandon LaFell. Last week, LaFell had 9 targets for 5 receptions and 102 yards while playing 75% of the snaps. And this week, he plays the New York Giants, and most specifically, J-Ron Hosley, who rates as the 23rd worst cornerback in the league. At 6.1%, he's a play. I mean, the Patriots are playing a weak Giants secondary, and after what Tom does to them, they're going to make a Law & Order SVU episode about it.
I am very, very sneaky, sir.
My hidden gem this week is Allen Hurns. In his last 6 games, Allen Hurns is averaging 5 receptions for over 84 yards a game and a touchdown in every single game. And this week he plays Baltimore, who have the 2 worst outside cornerbacks in the league. And at a 1.8% owning rate, he is a very strong play this week. He's a one-man law firm. What could possibly go wrong?
Wild card, bitches!
My dart throw this week is actually the human embodiment of a dart. He's small, he's straight, he shakes, he bakes, he's quicker than light. His name is Tavon Austin. In his last 5 games, Tavon Austin has had 20-plus rushing yards in 5 of 5 games, 7 targets in 4 of 5 games, 81-plus receiving yards in 3 of 5 games, and 5 total touchdowns. And this week he plays Chicago, who against #1 wide receivers give over 82 yards a game and 1 touchdown. And if he lines up in the slot, he'll play Sherrick McManus, who is the 6th worst cornerback in the league. Yeah, I know he can be unpredictable, but this week, close your eyes and throw a dart. Quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. Now we're on to tight ends.
I'm dead sexy.
My first value pick is Jordan Reed. I don't have any jokes for this guy. He's on pace for 100 receptions and over 1,000 yards. But what I can do for you, I'll say his name in a funny voice. Jordan Reed. In the 5 full games he's played this season, he averages over 9 targets a game for over 66 yards with 4 total touchdowns. He plays New Orleans this week, the 31st ranked defense against the tight end. His ownership is 16.8. I know that's high, but that means I'm not the only one that loves him. Everybody loves the man.
I am very, very sneaky, sir.
My hidden gem this week makes me feel like an MC. Ebron. Ooh. In the 6 games he's played this year, he averages over 5 targets a game, over 45 yards a game, and 3 total touchdowns. This week he plays Green Bay, that are the 25th ranked defense against tight ends. His ownership, only 0.9%. Someone get me a record deal.
Wild card, bitches!
My Dartho this week might surprise people. He's got a name that makes him sound like he's a convict in an old Western movie. You know who we gotta get, folks? Gary Banridge. This year he averages over 7 targets a game, over 65 yards a game with 6 total touchdowns. He also plays Oakland, and we all know how bad Oakland is against the tight end. He's owning 4.6% of the leagues, but why is he a dart throw? Because McCown is questionable. So what you need to do is follow us on Twitter and check for updates. I'm gonna reiterate that. Follow us on Twitter and check for updates, because I'm gonna tell you if you should play him or not. People, don't you love it when we finish quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends? Because it means we're running defenses and kickers. And guess what? I just get to show you a slide. Defenses are like the Steelers, the Packers, the Eagles, and the Panthers. Kickers are like Sturgis, Barth, and Bailey. So now you kind of have a blueprint for your team, right? You got your value picks, your hidden gems, your dart throws, your kickers, your defense, but you're going, Bill, I know there's more there. I got a lot of money left over. Tell me the big boys I can play. Tell me the elite plays I can play. Well, these are the elite plays I like this week. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for! My ultimate teams. These are the 3 FanDuel DFS teams I'm playing this week. These are the 3 DraftKings DFS teams I'm playing this week. But you know what I preach? Cash games. This is the cash game I'm playing on FanDuel, and this is the cash game I'm playing on DraftKings. You know how I play. Cash games to save my ass in the DFS teams so that I can retire to the Bahamas before the age of 30. Now, if you use any of the players I suggested you today, if you use one guy or you make a team with all 9 of them, tweet at us, bank_breakers. Tweet at us the lineup and the amount of money you won, and you might be the bank breaker of the week. What does that mean for you if you're the bank breaker of the week? Prizes, of course. Well, one, you're going to win the money that you do from FanDuel or DraftKings. But then I'm going to give you a prize. I'm going to give you something really special. So you gotta tweet at us the amount of money you won and the lineup you did. Alright? But folks, that's it. I'm done. I've talked to you long enough. I've given you all the advice I have for the week. So let's move forward. You guys get out of here. You enjoy your weekend. I know I'm going to. If you're in LA,